Hey guys, here's a short sweet video on the 95 regarding the Moates chip. When I went to go look at the car 2 years ago, it had a Moates chip in it. The battery had died on the chip and it actually lost its programming. The car wouldn't run at all. Like you'd have to nurse it just to get it to even run. And it was really virtually not drivable. So for the time I've had the car, it was running it on just the ECM, whatever tune was in there, be it one that Celine put in, or if it's a factory tune, I don't know. So anyways, the Moates chip, I rewired in a 3-volt battery, and I plugged it into the car, and it was just like the fella that I bought the car from. He said it just wouldn't run. It stunk up the garage. It ran so rich. And so I was talking to my buddy Shane. He says, hey, talk to Chris. He's a tuner. And he'll let you know if maybe you could do something with that chip or not. So long story short, I got a hold of Chris. He says, yeah, when the battery goes dead on a Moates Quarterhorse, it messes it up. He's going to wipe the chip clean and see if it'll take programming. Sure enough, it did. He put a bass tune into it. And we're going to see if it's going to make the car run. The bass tune will get us going until he actually get hands-on with the car. We're going to reinstall the reprogrammed Moates Quarterhorse chip. And then we're going to go over, either in this video or another video, we're going to go over installing a wideband, which will help with tuning. And I think we're going to do a fuel pump upgrade just to be on the safe side. After all, there is a 28-year-old fuel pump in this car, original pump. I'm guessing it is anyways. So anyways, let's install the chip and take it from there. So guys, we just ended up putting the chip into the car. So this is the external battery that I had to put in place of the one that was soldered onto the circuit board. And then also the cord you could tie in for tuning. We're going to end up installing a wideband. So I'm just going to start the car up, make sure it'll run. I'll have to adjust the fuel pressure and the timing. And let's see if it's going to idle. Like, this is a bass tune that Chris sent me. Just open the door, get rid of some fumes. I'm just curious to see how much differently the car is going to sound just from this alone, even though we're not all the way there. So, like I said, fuel pressure adjustment. I'm going to bump up the pressure a bit. I had it set too low, and set the timing to 10 degrees because it's going to be taken care of in the chip. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Turn that idle down a little bit too. I got the idle turned down. What's it at now? Just under 1,000 RPM. Let's turn it down and see how much less we could get it. I'm already loving it. And this is just a bass tune, so it's still around 900 or 950 according to the tachometer. I'm gonna be happy with that. Well, we're going to install this guy after supper. And I'm going to button this up. I'm not going to leave it exposed like that. We're going to button that up a bit so when we go to tune it, we won't have to worry. I'm not going to put the computer right back in the kick panel area, but we're going to leave it. I'll cover up where the chip is so nothing gets in there, no moisture or debris. But yeah, this is the best it's ran so far. let's unbox this thing. But big help on this car is the bung is already in the header collector. So it's pretty straightforward, guys. Like, I think this harness right here, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll look at it in the instructions right away, but basically in the back of the wideband sensor, there's 2 plugs. And the good thing is, you know, one plug goes in one side, this other plug, I think there's gonna be only 4 wires on here. Yeah, power, ground, and these other 2 are gonna be, if you're gonna be hooking up the wideband up to a computer or something to do data logging and whatever else. Let's just confirm that. So if anybody's concerned about, can I install this myself? If you just wanted to read your O2 readings, it's a piece of cake. Here we go. There's the instructions. That's how you hook it up. Sensor plugs into the gauge, then the harness goes 12 volt power, chassis ground, 0 to 5 volt output, and the blue is the serial output. So anybody that does any data logging or tuning, they're going to know exactly what to do with that. And even if you don't do that, just have the ends of those wires covered up, make sure they're not touching one another, and it'll be ready to go if you ever got to do some data logging and some tuning. So yeah, this is good. Let's figure out we're going to route this. Now, obviously, I'm just looking at the wires. There's a big plug, so I think I got to go from the bottom up because we got a tiny end here that goes to the gauge. So this is going to be a walk in the park, and then I got to figure out where I want to put it in the car. Okay, I'm going to take the gauge. It may not happen tonight, but here's what I want to do. I'm probably going to take this out and make a bezel where the gauges can fit in here. I'll probably get one other gauge because right now I don't want to put a meaningless gauge in there. I want to put in something I could actually use. And I was thinking of oil temperature. I might have to get one of those plates for the oil filter and plumb in a temperature sensor in there, because I wish I would have. Guys, if you ever have an engine out of a car and you have the oil pan off, or even if the engine's out, that is your time. That's the perfect time to put in a threaded bung. Have it welded on, cap it off, seal it off. It's not going to leak if it's done right. And if you ever want to put a sensor in later or something, it's right there ready and waiting for you. So anyways, let's get this wire put in and get this sensor threaded into the bung at the collector. Well, looks like we can possibly route it up here. So I popped that grommet out right through there. It's in the kick panel. I'm going to put a nice little hole in there. I'm going to take all the pins out of here, so make sure you take a picture of it before you do that. Feed the wire through that grommet and then put the plug back in on the end. It'll be a nice, neat install. Just make sure guys, that you feed it from the right, direction. So this is to the outside, so the wire has to go in this way. Okay, we got a little grommet on there, and I made a hole in there with a hole punch so we're going to put a grommet within a grommet, and then we're going to seal it off with some silicone once we get the right length on it. So let's get at that. So here's what we ended up doing. You can see the wideband comes out of the header, and then we brought it up the side of the frame rail, and then up we went behind the fender liner, and we came in through the cowl area. So that's not going to interfere with anything. And then we basically came in from there and then brought the cable across, and then of course up to the gauges. And then you plug your gauges in and you're good to go. Something that I also did, the white cable that's used for the 0 to 5 volt feed for the data logging, I just set this in the glove box. Here's just some extra cables that we had to hook up to a computer that came with the chip, and this is just for the hooking the computer up as well. These two, this end goes into the Moates, this goes up to your, switches this to a USB. Okay guys, here's what we did. I got power from the power top switch. So I got power, there's switched power here. It was a purple with an orange tracer. And I got a ground from the lighter. Anyways, I ran power to here. I plugged everything in. I got to get a bezel. I want to get a 2 gauge bezel. I don't want 3 gauges here. But there we go. I'm going to open the big door and see if we got it working right. Okay, here we go. Well, that's where we're at. Cold startup. That's not bad at all. I almost want to go for a spin right now, but it's getting late. The car definitely runs way better with the bass tune. And then we can get Chris over and do some tuning. He's going to tune my car, he's going to tune Shane's SN95, and we'll take it from there. So we decided on a AEM oil temperature gauge. So what we're going to do is, next video we're going to work on the bezel to hold both gauges, and then after that we're going to be doing a fuel pump install. So that's what's going to be going on with the 95. We will catch you in the next video, and thanks for watching. Cheers.